Morena, it's March. Already March. My God, February's been a blur. It's been a blur of busyness, gorgeousness. Yesterday, I did the final energy festival in the Wairarapa. Fuck, it was amazing. Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. It was so hot. I nearly melted into the lawn, but I'm not built for heat or speed, but it was stunning. Oh my God, if you ever get to go to Rose and Smith in Featherston and it's at the racecourse, it was incredible, amazing venue. They do beautiful weddings and they did the most beautiful lunch. And we sat in these trees, under a tree, under this like big umbrella of a tree. It was like a wedding. It was like an energy wedding. Like how gorgeous is that? So we danced on the lawn. We lay under the trees and meditated, and then we sat under trees and had this beautiful lunch. And I reckon there was probably 10 women who came on their own this time. I always celebrate them because I think it's so fucking brave, because so many times in my life I've wanted to attend something and I haven't had any people that wanted to attend. Like I've got people, people think when you turn up to something without friends that you're a loser. And it's like, no, that's not true. You just didn't have friends that wanted. I mean, you might be a loser, I don't know. But, you just don't have people that want to attend the same thing you want to attend or are available to attend the same thing you want to attend. Like if I want to go to a movie and all my friends are at work or none of them have any money that week, I'm just going to go on my own, And I think getting used to doing things on our own is really good for us, because otherwise we live our lives based on the availability of others, which is bullshit, And I think I love the idea. We are alone, let's be honest. We arrived alone. You're going to leave alone. And that's the end of that. So I think doing things just for you is heaven. Heaven. Isn't that lovely? Anyway, I'm going to be honest, I'm a bit knackered. The irony of the Energy Festival is I get a bit pooped. It's a big day. It's a very big day because it starts very early setting up. And then it's an enormous amount of energy because there's 2 workshops and a bit of a dance class, and a lot of beautiful people. We had 2 men yesterday, and it was really cute. One walked in and nearly walked out. He was like, fuck, I think I'm in the wrong room. Anyway, he was very brave. He was a very lovely, brave man, and he kept coming, and he was beautiful. And he said to me, I wondered if I was in the wrong room when I arrived, and everyone was lovely. So of course they're lovely. Everyone's come together because they're interested in some energy. So then, they're not going to be assholes, are they? I think they're at a different event. They weren't at my event anyway. So that is, I am glad they are done because they have been enormous amount of work. Poor Michaela, their logistics, running an event, but basically we've run 3 weddings, 3 weekends in a row. And people don't appreciate how exhausting that is. It's enormous. And people, email and say, oh, I can't come like the morning of. Can I have a refund? It's like, no, we've fucking paid for you. So no, you can't actually, because everything's been paid for and they're very expensive events. And, people don't appreciate, it blows my mind that people do this. Like if Elton John was at a concert, you wouldn't email him and say, can I get my money back, would you? But oh my God, people have a crack. Anyway, that's boring. But the events have been huge and fun and exhausting. And we've had so many logistics. Now, I promised my friend Pete that I would tell you this funny story. When we got to Hamilton for the event, I was talking to my friend Pete and I was laughing because I'm kind of known because of my ADHD, I'm a bit all over the place and I forget things and I do things very impulsively and quite fast often, which is why I have Mark and Michaela save my life, because they're constantly going, have you checked that, Lisa? Are you sure about that? Because I do fly by the seat of my ass often. Well, we got to Hamilton and we were driving we'd driven up because my daughter was helping me and my husband and son were attending a martial arts camp that my son was part of, and so we drove and we got to Hamilton, and the boys were carrying on to Auckland, and I said, right, throw us out at the airport. I've booked a rental car, and if you throw us out at the airport, we'll scoop up our rental car. Now, a week or so before, I don't know, I think Michaela was having a day off or wasn't at work that day, and I thought, I'm a big girl. I can book my own bloody rent. I don't need someone to do everything for me. I'm fucking capable, me. So I booked a rental car, and I, found this one. And when I think back, it was very cheap. It was a much cheaper price than all the other rental cars. It should have been an alert for Lisa, but it wasn't. So I jumped out at the airport and said to Mark, right, we'll just go and grab the, find the little person. And it was Eurocar or whatever that green and yellow brand is. And I thought, cool, I'll jump in there. Looked around, there was no sign that said that. There was Hertz and Avis and all the other ones. But I was like, it's not here. So I went up and asked, and the lady said, oh no, there's not they don't have a store out here. It's in town. And I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. So then I Googled it, and it was in Glasgow Street in Hamilton. So I said to Mark, right, bad news, we're 28 minutes away, which is slightly problematic given it's 5:15 and usually town places close early. So I go online to see, and it says that they're closed. And I'm like, oh no. The Hamilton town depot or whatever it's called closes at 5, and I'm like, oh fuck, and I haven't got my car, and oh no. Anyway, I thought, well, I'll ring them because they might have enough little after hours person that fixes such fuck ups. So I looked at the number, I thought, that's a fucking weird number, there's a lot of numbers in there, and I rang and it didn't ring, and I thought, oh, that's really weird, and something went funny with the phone. And then so I went back, I thought, I'll just open it up and check. And I had booked a rental car in Scotland. There's a place in Scotland called Hamilton. And in my flurry, late at night, doing my bookings, I'd booked for Hamilton. And so, interestingly, there's a Glasgow Street in Hamilton, and there's a Hamilton in Glasgow. Oh, anyway, really fucked up story, but I was standing in Hamilton Airport going, well, okay. I said, Mark went to the bathroom. He came out and said, what's going on? What'd you find out? I said, well, he's very calm. Thank fuck he's calm. I said, well, look, here's the thing. My rental car's in Scotland. He said, are you joking? I went, no, kind of wish I was. Anywho, I'm very busy to move on. I said, let's go. Doesn't matter. Let's just move on. There's no point dwelling on Scotland. Whizzed over and ran round all the other rental car people and said, look, any chance of a car? They all said, no, fuck off. I was like, oh dear, bollocks. So anyway, long story short, my daughter and I then jumped in the car, drove all the way to Auckland, dropped the boys off, and then drove back to Hamilton with our car and left them in Auckland. They didn't need a car. It was fine. They could Uber in Auckland, but we needed a car. So it added 5 hours onto my fucking day because my fingers didn't do the right typing. Oh, look. So anyway, I'm off to Melbourne this week. I don't need a rental car, thank God. But I've got a busy week. Michaela's done all the bookings, so that's good. So ever since then, we've been double checking because, these things happen to me often. The amount of times I get to the airport and I say, I'm on the flight Wellington, New Plymouth, and they go, oh, there's 2 Lisa O'Neills on the plane. And I'm like, oh, fuck, have they got the same airpoints number? And she goes, oh, dear. And I'm like, well, I've only got one ass, so you might need to cancel that. And so what happens is I quite often go, oh, I haven't booked a flight, and I just book another one. Oh, my God. Anyway, so this week I'm organised with the travel. I'm speaking to Liquorland. I'm running 2 workshops, which is going to be fun. I love self-employed businesses. I love running workshops and helping. And a lot of these guys are self-employed family businesses, and it adds another layer of context, doesn't it? So helping them to get better, that's extraordinary. So I've got to print the workbooks. That's my job today. I'm printing workbooks, and then I'm whizzing down to speak to them all day. And then Wednesday I'm flying to Melbourne and International Women's Day event in Melbourne. and it is for the Automobile Association, Women of the Automobile Association. So that's going to be exciting. A whole bunch of women, right? I love that. Celebrating International Women's Day. I'm a bit pissed off about International. I spend most of my time pissed off about International Women's Day because people do such lame shit. So usually they do something lame and so they go, oh, fuck, it's International Women's Day. We should probably just tick a box. And they get in some cupcakes. I'm like, oh, fuck, really? Why don't you give everyone equal pay? That'd be better, I reckon, than a cupcake. But however, and, why don't you start listening to women in meetings instead of talking over the top of them, fellas? There's still that happening. What's going on? 2025 and it still happens. Anyway, gender equality is a whole nother conversation. But even worse, they ask people to speak for free. That pisses me off. I'm like, do you know the irony of asking a woman to do something for free on fucking International Women's Day? That's annoying. They manage to pay for the boys' golf tournaments, don't they? But anyway, it's a bit hard sometimes to pull the money together for a cupcake. And then this year it's on a Saturday, so people are going, oh, good, we're off the hook. Let's do fuck all. The women don't exist. Let's do nothing. Just because it's not on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and it's not blaringly obvious. Is that glaringly obvious? Anyway. That's my rant. So that's lovely. And then I'm going to have to catch up and have dinner with some friends and then I've got a whiz back. Whiz, like I'm whizzing fast. It's a very quick trip. But I love that. Isn't that fun? So whizzing around and it's a couple of early flights, a couple of late flights. But that's just the world, isn't it? I always work well on planes, so I'm excited about that. And, oh dear, yes, so that's me. And then I'm getting organised. I've got lots of work to do. I'm going to book all the flights, and these will be checked. We actually have a travel agent doing the flights for my Shanghai trip because, imagine me fucking that up. Well, we can't have women stranded in the middle of downtown China holding lots of coats. So, so excited to be back shopping in Shanghai and got to organise that. Got to organise flights for that. That's in May. And then I've got repotted in June. So we've got lots of organising. So now the energy festivals are over, we get to move on. The little whiteboard gets cleaned down and we move on to new things. So how about that? So that's my week. Children haven't got a lot on this week. It's nice. They're all in good spaces. It's just all about me whizzing around and getting my travel sorted. So there you go. Happy Monday. If you joined us at any of the energy festivals, thank you so much for coming and trusting me and coming and letting me give you that experience. I absolutely loved it. And if you want to know more about our energy club, you can find it on my website, lesao'neill.co.nz. It's all about to get a new refresh and it's going to be very sexy. You just wait. Energy Club's about to go next level, and you can join that for just $25 a month, and you get text messages and videos and newsletters and all kinds of stuff that no one else in the world sees. So if you're into exclusive content, you may like to be part of the Energy Club. I'd love that. See you soon.